What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hoe to Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man Jay with me. What's up, bro?
Not much going on tonight, fellas. Looking forward to another great episode. First off, shout out to Barbados. I think we went up to number 7 at Barbados as far as Apple Podcast goes. So shout out to our listeners out there. You know, we're getting a lot of love out there. But
We appreciate it.
You, no doubt. So I want to quickly remind you, you catch us on Grind City TV. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, prime time. You can download on Roku TV, also on Google Play. Also, you can follow us on TikTok at Hoe to Husband Podcast, as well as give us a like on Facebook at Hoe to Husband Podcast. All right, T.
I also have my other co-host on the line with me. I got my man SD all the way from Chicago. What's good, bro?
Man, you know, the same old, same old. I'm a little disappointed. The haters got my page shut down.
Damn.
Yeah. That is messed up, man.
That's some bullshit.
You know, man, it is what it is. It come with the territory.
Your posts get flagged often? I didn't think you dealt with all the hate. I thought...
Man.
I think the same thing happened to Mr. Let Go, too.
Yeah, a couple times a month, but, you know, this time, man, you know, it just come with the territory, man. So I'm trying to get the motivation to get going again, but it's all good. Yeah. But I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for keeping the background music fresh all the time. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hoes to Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal.
I also want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of our podcast every Monday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled He's Too Boring. And we're going to be having a conversation with a lady that just went viral over video that she put out giving advice to boring men. So I'm looking forward to that. This should be a real interesting conversation. But before we get into all that, we got some real interesting trending topics I'm looking forward to discuss. So the first topic that we're going to talk about this week is a video of Jayda Cheaves, aka Little Baby's baby mama, where she was kind of going on a rant about how men value and appreciate women today. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
Lately, like, I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, you know, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s? You know, like, women control the, like, literally, you know, because I could say this now, but I only say that because of status. Like, we making hella money just like these. But as far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We running out of that. And it's kind of scary in society today. And I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but this is just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us.
All right, now there's a lot to unpack from that. But one thing that stood out to me that is really problematic is the expectation that a guy's going to worship the ground you walk on. Like, that's not realistic at all. Even a man that loves you and wants to be with you and is going to use his resources for your benefit is not going to worship the ground you walk on, especially if he's the type of dude other women want. So that's what stood out to me. SD, what about you when you saw this? What'd you think?
I think it's a little delusion mixed in with that, because she's only taking it from the side of the women and not really thinking about why men are behaving different nowadays, right? Nowadays, back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have chicks showing their titties all over Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have chicks with OnlyFans. A lot of these chicks with OnlyFans sitting on dildos all day long. Like, you didn't have that. So you had a lot more respect for women, because women had a lot more respect for themselves, right? So nowadays you don't have that. And the men, a lot of the men are just acting accordingly. Men aren't going to, at least the guys that most of these chicks want, you know, those guys that's got something going for themselves, they attractive, and other women want them because they don't want them other guys. Those dudes ain't gonna be doing all that type of stuff for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Worshiping the ground you walk on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should treat you well, no doubt. But he's going to act according to how that woman acts for herself. So,
and he's gonna hold you accountable. Like that's
Absolutely.
the part that they don't like. Like he's going to question things. He's going to question your decision making. Just because you make money and you look good and you got pussy is not enough for the type of men that women actually want. What do you think, Jay?
No doubt. I'm kind of picking out what SD said. I'm gonna take a different turn with this, right? She said a guy that's gonna worship. A woman doesn't even want the guy that's gonna worship the ground that she walks on. Because how many women want the thirsty dude? Think about this. When you go to a bar or club, how many women want that guy that goes, "Hey, Mark," grabbing her arm and all that? How many women actually want that guy? None. Or the guy that's always in our inbox. How many women want that guy? None.
Good morning, beautiful.
Exactly. The woman doesn't want that guy. And here, at the end of the day, a man's life should not revolve around the woman anyway. Because at the end of the day, the women don't even want the guy. The women don't want the guy where his life revolves around her, which is, you're my world, you're my everything. The women don't even want that guy.
No.
Nah, you're right. But back in the 80s and 90s, like she was referencing, that's what all the songs was about. Babyface and all them boys that was writing them songs back then, they was doing some crazy shit in these videos and in these songs. And we know that a large portion of the perspective women have on relationships is formed by the media that they consume.
See, I'll just piggyback off that real quick about the songs from the 80s and 90s, right? Think about R&B from the 80s and 90s, fellas. Bro. Yeah. That was about seducing women. Now, R&B after, let's just say, from the late 2000s and beyond was about smashing women. Yeah. Think about that.
You had dudes singing in the rain with leather suits on back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You had Jodeci, Drew Hill, 112.
The New Jack Swing and all that.
Yeah, you had all of those groups singing about love and what to do. Keith Sweat whining in every song, trying to get women to you know what I'm saying, any way that they could
be with them.
Yeah, well, now, like I said, the caliber.
That's not realistic, though.
It's not, because them dudes, men, we know that guys like that typically do that to smash, and after that. All of that singing in the rain, he'd be like, "Man, get away from me, man! I done smashed already, right?" It's like it's like Martin. Remember Martin? And he said, "Hey, the only way you keep a relationship alive is lying and crying, Tommy." So you crying at first, and then you start lying later, and that's how them dudes were back in the day, man. So
I think that. Yeah, because today's women, we talk about the modern women and what men experience dating them all the time. Just because women are making more money and operating in a more masculine way, for a lot of men, that makes them more unpleasant to date. And so when you got women that are showing their pussy and shaking their ass and twerking in their videos and using all these things to blow up their brands and their popularity, is going to generate sexual attention, and that's about the ceiling that most interactions women have with men are going to reach.
Yeah, you got a lot of that now. You know, like I said, you look at most of these here chicks, especially the real pretty ones, and you look in their bio, it's a link there to OnlyFans. And like, I'm not gonna take you. I'm not gonna take you serious, but I'll take you to Pound Town.
Yeah, you got the All My Links, OnlyFans, and Amazon wish list.
Yeah, like they want something, and nowadays, it's about the money. Everything is about the money. So the guys are like, okay, if I'm going to give you money, then I really only want the panties anyway. So she referenced making more money now. She's not referencing being more cooperative like they were in the 90s. They ain't really cooperative like that now. She's not referencing being feminine like they were in the 90s. They're being more masculine now. Exactly. So you have to take everything into consideration. And I don't think she's doing that. Right. And she's not doing that.
Actually, points. Let's transition, because what you just talked about kind of ties into our next trending topic. The next video that I wanted to talk about was a video of Michael Blackson on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, where he was talking about being faithful to women and having side chicks. Let's take a listen.
My whole life, I've never been faithful. Any of my exes watching, yes, I cheated on all of you.
And you lied to him, huh?
I lied. Man, I lied so much, man, I don't even know what the truth is. Be rich. Broke niggas can't do this. Broke man ain't got no choice. He can't even afford a woman his way. How you gonna cheat with somebody else? A woman would take her bills being paid from a rich man that cheats than a broke man that's faithful.
Don't you just, damn, babe, I missed you. How was your day, babe?
Yeah.
Don't you want that?
Yes, I have that. That's on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday, bitches, I'm home. My lady just left. I got a side chick coming tonight. She knows that.
Hold on. How would you feel if she said, look, okay, Mike, we gonna do this?
If you want to do the same thing, then we could just be friends. I can't be putting a ring on your finger while somebody else is bending you over. Looking at my ring.
Man, what's wrong with you?
Looking at my tattoos on your back while he tearing you up.
Don't you age out of this?
Nah. I'm faithful to her. My dick's not.
This dude got a bunch of quotables, bro.
For real.
I like the fact that he's authentic about it now because he got caught cheating a couple years back with his girl. He was with like an IG model for a couple years. So I can imagine how difficult it is to be faithful if you're a celebrity, even a C or D list celebrity. Like, you don't have to be at the top of the charts in order to reap the benefits that come with having money and popularity. And his statement, most women would rather be with a rich dude that can pay all their bills and spoil them with designer shit than be with a dude that cannot provide them with a luxury lifestyle that's faithful to them. Those are facts.
Yeah, absolutely. I respect them for the honesty. Like, me personally, I tell women all the time, like, it's nothing wrong with a man, going through his, I call, hoe phase, because if he's honest about it, if he's honest and telling you what it is up front, like he did his girl, when he got caught cheating about a year or two ago, she stayed on her own. Like, this is what it is. This is what I want to do. Now, you got two choices. You can leave or you can stay. But that's on you what you decide to do. And you can't blame me or say I lied to you or deceived you. And a lot of guys go through that. I know I did in my young 20s. I went through a lying.
It's hard though, man. It's hard. Yeah. Because until you get to the point where you realize honesty and being authentic, there's value to it. You're fearful of missing out on the opportunities that you presented with. Or the chick that you've been liking for a long time, or you done finally got to second or third base with. So there's a lot of incentive for dudes to just go with the flow, don't disrupt it, and honesty usually, especially when it comes to other women. But like he said, man, that all is dependent on your status, bro. Your status and your finance level. At certain points, it don't matter at all.
Exactly, man. Quick question, do you think a lot of women would rather be a side dude to a dude with status as opposed to being a main chick to a dude without status? Let's just say an average dude, for lack of a better description.
Yeah, they would, especially if nobody knows about it.
Right.
I know a woman personally that was a side chick and was perfectly cool with it. Because the dude was the type of guy that Kevin Samuels talks about makes upwards of $400,000, $500K a year. Mm-hmm. So he was just doing it like shit. Whenever he traveled with his wife, he bring the side chick and she stay at a hotel across the street. When he with his wife, you go shop. When he's with you, his wife is going to shopping and getting her nails done and shit. So, I mean, it was very expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you got it like that, shit, you got it like that. You can spend $7-8 grand a month on your side chick. Your wife ain't about to leave you about you cheating. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think. Real quick, before you go, I don't think the wife will leave because there's something to lose there
already.
Yeah. But you know what? I think a lot of women would want to be with the dude with status and all that. But me personally, I want the woman that wouldn't. No matter how much that money that dude would give them, because them the chicks that's gonna be loyal to you. See, them chicks that'll go and be that side chick for the money. Them chicks will leave you for the highest bidder if she meet him somewhere else. Because it's about the money for those type of chicks. So for me now at this point, I wouldn't be bothered with a chick like that if she's that hanger-on type of chick and want to be just with a dude for his cash. Like, even though it might not be my cash, it might be something she did, last year or whatever. It gives me a peek into her mind and how she thinks. So I personally wouldn't want to be bothered with a chick like that. But nowadays, because the money is so important, like we talked about a little while ago, a lot of women will do it and be fine with it. And then later on, they gonna try to get that other guy later on after that status or whatever.
That happens a lot of times. You see situations where the woman's dating a college athlete before he goes pro. You dating a rapper when he first start out. Like, women will stick with a dude that they see the dollar signs coming. Women don't overlook potential, and the guys that are potential to make a lot of money, man, women come with it.
Isn't that what your book Game Recognized Game is based on?
It's part of it. It shows the difference that a guy his dating standards or his lifestyle takes once he starts making money. So the transition from college life where you broke and you dealing with multiple women to where you become an executive and how your lifestyle and your interaction with women change.
Yeah, but you know what? When you got money like that, you ain't got to lie to nobody. You ain't got to lie to them chicks. They gon' lie to themselves just to be around you. They gonna lie to themselves just to be around you. You ain't got to lie about nothing. See, now with the whole phase men, the guys that don't really have that type of money and status, lying is the easiest way to smash the chicks, because a lot of women don't take their time. They want to rush. They don't vet the dudes well, and they like to hear what they like to hear. And men know that. It's in the whole phase manual, page 3. I read it front to back. And that's just that's just what it is. So lying to a woman is an easy way to get her. And once you become a different type of man and start making your own money, you get mature. You realize you don't have to do that, and it's actually pretty weak. You know what I'm saying? To lie to get women to sleep with you. So, but the guys that got the money, they ain't got to do none of that.
All right, let's flip real quick, man. I want to try to get to some of the questions that we got in our DMs. If you were interested in having your question read on the podcast or having our thoughts about your post, hit us up on our Instagram page, shoot us a DM, and we'll try to get it on the show. What question we responded to this week, SD?
We got a lady who asked us, why do men touch you without permission on date? Touch your knees, rub your legs, and all that type of thing while y'all out on dates, and she don't know the men. Why do men do that?
Well, to men, that's the first that's the bridge of flirtation. From my whole days or my single days, that's how you can tell how interested a woman is in you. Holding hands is kind of direct, but brushing up against her leg, walking behind her, touching her lower back, stuff like that is just men do that's flirtatious. And we all know that body language is like 90% of communication. So how a woman responds to being touched by a man ultimately kind of reveals her level of attraction to him. So guys don't view that as anything negative or something you have to know somebody on a intimate level to be able to do. It's just a touch. It's not like, sex itself.
Right.
Hey,
I mean, what is the guy supposed to? He's supposed to ask permission to touch you or something? I mean, most of the time he's gonna touch you to see how far he can take it. Like he's trying to see. Like most guys do it because they want to see if the vibe is there. Like they'll do little things like little touches and see where it leads to. Like if he touch your leg and you with it, or touch your knee, touch your thigh, or whatever. He's trying to see if you're with it. Okay, okay, damn, she with it. Damn, I can definitely smash this. I can definitely take this to Pound Town at some point.
That's how not necessarily Pound Town, but those are the things that show progression towards Pound Town. Yeah. Like just a date where the dude got to put his hand on your thigh in the car. Man, that's creating the type of sexual tension you want, even if you don't plan on having sex that night or whatever the case may be. But But from a guy perspective, we got to figure out if the sexual attraction is mutual. And so a woman that would get offended or turned off by you touching her, that's a sign that she ain't attracted to you. So that kind of helps guys, cut through the bullshit. What about you, SD?
I never was a toucher like that for women to engage them like that. I would more engage them through conversation because I felt, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that what I'm doing is warranted or that she's comfortable with it. I was a comfort type of dude, making sure the chick was comfortable. And I just didn't want to touch on her thigh and all that. And I didn't know the woman. So I would get a feel through conversation because back then we had to talk. We didn't have texts and DMs and all that. We actually had to learn how to talk to a woman. So that's how I would get a feel for them. But I think that's kind of equivalent, like a guy touching on a woman's leg, to kind of gauge the sexual.
But in this day and age, though, a lot of the conversation is through text.
Right.
So you don't get the same vibes that you get from a 2-hour phone conversation that you do. Even you don't get me wrong, you can have a good conversation through text, but it'll never be voice conversation.
In person. We there. We on a date. I gotta touch her leg. We there in person. So I'm gonna be engaged in that conversation, looking in your eyes, smelling you, and just be close. Like I ain't gotta touch your leg. I could just be close to you. I want a booth because I want to sit next to her. You know what I'm saying? So she can smell my cologne. I ain't gotta touch you. You gonna want to touch me.
You gotta see me.
That's a good one. You know what? I never looked at that one for like sit next to her so she can smell your cologne and everything. That's a good one right there. Fellas, take notes on that one.
She gotta hug you. You gotta demand a hug at least at the end of the night. You gotta do all those type of things.
The thing is, here's my thing with touching. Let's just say you try to touch her, whether you touch her leg, thigh, whatever the case may be, and she pulling away, or she comes off standoffish. To me, I'm gonna take that as a lack of interest. What about you?
Yeah, most guys exactly. And I think it would be weird. Like, can I touch your thigh? You know what I'm saying? Like, that, to me, would ruin the mood. You know what I mean? Like you could, like a woman touching your thigh or putting her hand on your leg. Like, there are certain things women do when they want you to know that they are interested in you sexually.
Right.
Certain stuff that they say and do. And if a woman touch you and you pull away, man, that kind of kill the vibe. Or
no doubt.
She's gonna be like, "What? Is he gay?" That's gonna be the first thing she say. Is he gay?
I don't think that most guys would even. It would make things awkward because if you say no or why you want to touch me, like I can just see the questioning on the conversation going to a place where it's gonna be difficult to get things back in a chill vibe. So I don't think
the touching, like for a man, like trying to feel that woman out to see where the sexual level is at with her. I think that's equivalent for some woman eating off a man's plate to see if he'll be okay with it. To try you gotta see that man trying to assert dominance to see what you can get away with. I think it's equivalent, kind of to that. Not a touchy thing.
I hadn't thought about it.
But seeing as how men are territorial and more masculine with certain things, let me see if what I can get away with. It's the same thing. It's just with the man's food and his plate.
I mean, because from a guy perspective, you always have to test the boundaries. Like things like when you kissing a chick, you gotta reach for her belt buckle. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's either gonna grab your hand or she's gonna let you do what you're doing. Like, you gotta be able to have the heart to do shit like that if you're gonna have success. Like, it comes with rejection, and it's a risk reward type of scenario. But like you said, like SD said, you gotta have conversations. You gotta be on that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be on that vibe in order to go there. At least in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's smart to do that your first time seeing a chick, or maybe that's probably what the lady was referring to.
Man, listen, I'm gonna test the boundaries. I'm just gonna wear some gray sweats with no drawers. That's how I'm gonna test the boundaries. That's how I'm gonna test it. Like, man,
you're a fool, boy.
Let's see if you get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be judging. Come out like, what's up?
Oh man, hey, looking like we up against the clock, y'all. We about to take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we'll have our guest for the night on, and we'll be talking about tonight's topic: he's too boring, and how women handle these boring guys on the dating market. Y'all are tuned into the Ho the Husband podcast, and we'll be back momentarily. You have everything it takes to become an effective dater. I've simplified the entire process for you. All you need to do is make some adjustments to your approach to learn how you're supposed to date by downloading the Terry Duran Dating Compatibility Guide. It's available for only $1.50 exclusively at terryduranbooks.com. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho the Husband podcast. Tonight's topic is he's too boring, and we have our guest for the evening on. We have Miss Dahlia Lovee. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast.
Thank you.
We saw you go viral this week. So we wanted to pick your brain and try to have a conversation with you.
Okay.
So before we get into the conversation, can you let us know a little bit about you, where you're from, etc.?
Yeah, I'm Dahlia Lovee. I'm from Maryland. I grew up in Silver Spring, Germantown as well, from the area.
DMV.
In my 30s, I've been married, divorced, and I don't know, I just experienced a few things relationship-wise and just...
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, you definitely don't look old enough to have done all that. So black don't crack. You doing something right. And so I wanted to know, well, in your video you didn't really go into detail, but what are some of the things that you would say make a man boring?
So in my opinion, and just from what I've seen and what I've heard from guy friends and just my own experiences, boring to me is, and I think definition-wise, everyone's perspective of boring is different. So there is no one definition of boring, but overall, it could be a guy with no ambition. It could be a guy with no goals, no experiences in life. He is just work and home. He's just there. He's not like interested in doing anything outside of the mundane tasks that he's essentially obligated to even survive. You know what I mean? So that's, it's a large scope, but I feel like there's kind of general things that will make you kind of a boring person in general, but specifically a man. So
could his could his overall swag make him boring?
Right, because to me there are some men. Okay, so let's just talk about personality. You could be a dull person personality-wise, but if we were talking about swag, let's say dressing-wise, a man who can switch it up is not boring. If you're a man who just wears t-shirts and sweatpants all the time, you can become very boring. Right. But switching it up, that's why they say, get you somebody who can do both, because that's interesting.
Okay, so it seems like from a male perspective, money is probably the biggest factor that can help a dude escape the boringness. Because if he can afford to dress fly, if he can afford to go places that's lit, and he can invite women to do things, I would think that would bring him up the interested meter, right?
Yeah, that's tricky too, because I feel like men have a different way of appealing to women. Like for men, in my coming from what I've heard, what I've seen, even from having guy friends, men, it's all about status. You know what I mean? It's like what you have, what you do, how much money you make. It's a status thing. So I feel like yes and no. That's yes, I agree with that, but I also could. I don't know. Well,
I think that. I'm married, so I think guys, at least husbands, are judged by the lifestyle that they provide their families. So when people see where you live, what you drive, how you and your family dress, that's kind of how men are judged. And for the females, it's kind of how she manages what her husband provides. because you could be in a big ass house, but it'd be filthy. You know what I'm saying? Like you come in and they're like, damn, look at her dishes, look at her kitchen. Like, I think that would be frowned upon from a female perspective, or your kid's hair's nappy as hell, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
Absolutely. I have a daughter, she's 7, and I don't let her. I can't look good, and she don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has to look decent. She's a reflection of me. You know what I mean? So it's like,
absolutely.
As a single parent, you judged a little differently, of course.
You are.
I mean, you know, you judge by how well you parent, how well behaved your kids are. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Not just how they dress and stuff like that, but their behavior as well. So a lot plays into that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, Dahlia, I have a question for you. So, based on your viral video, in my comments, a lot of men did agree with what you said for the most part.
Right.
But the women for the women here didn't. A lot of
quiet.
The most common thing I got in there was, no, not me, sis. She don't speak for me, sis. So how do you respond to that, to the women that say that?
I think a lot of times women are not honest.
Very true.
So it's a lot of cat. Yeah,
no doubt.
It's a lack of self-reflection going on, and I think so that's a deeper conversation, but I feel like women are not honest. Like, they're not 100% honest. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't want you to know what really goes on, but
some said they want to. Some said they waiting for a boring guy. Some said, "Where's my boring guy?"
Man, that's not true. The single ones will say that, but any dude that got side dude experience knows that there's a lot of truth to the video where you were talking about. A woman will get with a boring dude, a boring, stable dude that can pay her bills and make sure her life is comfortable. But she's gonna be going to Pound Town every weekend with the dude from work or the dude from the bar, whatever the case may be. So this is common knowledge, but you're right. You violated girl code by putting their business in the street. So they not gonna co-sign it on social media. We know the game.
But it was what happens? Silence in the conversation.
Yeah, like I was a nice guy.
What the ladies at?
Yeah, they not gonna go with that, especially with the Russell Wilson Sierra thing going on right now. And they like, oh, I want a nice guy now. When he got $100 million, but you got to remember, Sierra was baby mama number 6. That wasn't a nice guy.
Exactly.
So don't talk about this nice guy now that you up in age and all of a sudden you want a Russell Wilson when you curved Russell nice guys before
already
and got 3, 4, 5 of them in your DMs that you're ignoring because they're
good morning beautiful.
Yeah. Exactly my point. So I mean, it sounds good for social media, but when you get down to it and you look at the actual men that these women actually talk to and deal with, they kids' dads on a daily basis, it's completely different from the guy that they saying that they want on social media, nice guy. And go ahead.
But they really want the dude that's at Sunday Fun Day with the section. Like, that's who they want. They don't really want the nice, stable guy. I wanted to ask you. You're right. I had a question. I wanted to ask you. Do you think it's toxic for women to kind of have the mentality that you described where they'll curve the guy that's probably better for them long term for the guy that's more fun or interesting in the short term?
I don't think it's toxic. I think it can be toxic. No, I don't think it's toxic. I think it can be toxic if they're going about it in the wrong ways. And I think it comes down to being upfront with that person, because we love nice. You know what I mean? We love nice and we love stability, but we want it from the right person who's for us. So a lot of times I feel like women will accept things like dates or gifts or attention, and it's for the moment. What I don't think that's right. I think that becomes toxic because it creates a toxic cycle for the next woman. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's toxic overall. No, I don't think it's toxic. I just think women are not. Well, no, I think women are just not upfront with what they want, and that can create a toxic cycle. But I don't think it's toxic like that principle.
just to piggyback off that question, do you think women are not upfront because they're getting the free validation that they want? For example, let's just say she'll take dates from the guy that she's not really interested on that kind of level, take all dates and gifts and everything. Do you think she does it for validation?
Well, I can't say that, but I will say that it's comfortable in the moment. It's nice to see that until you get it from the guy that you want it from.
Gotcha.
See, and from a guy perspective, that's his fault. Like the guys that aren't able to tell when a woman is genuinely interested in them, or they use the let me buy you this. Can I take you here? Can I buy you shoes? Like those type of guys, they deserve what they get, in my opinion. Like if you gonna use money to attract women, then you can't complain about getting used. It's just like the chick that's twerking on the ground. Don't be surprised if all dudes want to give you his eggplant. If that's how you market yourself to the public. So I don't really have no sympathy for the type of guys that you talked about, but we have seen it. Like it kind of contradicts what women say on social media about one. I just want a guy that's loyal. I just want a guy that's this, and it's like, but you got that, and you don't even tell them good morning back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what? I'm sorry. I played that guy. I played that guy, man. In my early 20s, and when I got played for a watch by a chick that I was talking to, and I knew, you know what I'm saying, but I was the nice guy then. When I got played for that $300 watch, it changed everything for me.
I'm sure.
And from then on, so now because of that experience, no other chick could get me for something like that. Now I'm a mix of the two. I'm a nicer dude now, but I got that rough too. Like you just ain't gonna just get something just because you asked for it. Like Shorty did. Now you gotta come with something.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah, like she got me for a watch and I felt horrible. It was $300. But my ex who I was with, I started a business for my ex, right? And I didn't feel played at all because she wasn't there for that, and I knew that. So it's a difference when you young.
That's just investing in a woman.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you playing that role, it's different. So it's not like I'm just a cheapskate or something like that. It's just I know better now. I learned that lesson. So you can't be too nice. You're right, because they will take advantage if they see that they can get you for it. Absolutely.
All right, I have a question. Oh, go ahead. What?
Well, I was gonna say. That plays into the nice guy syndrome. There's like such thing as like a nice guy syndrome where, you know, that guy wants to be what he thinks everyone wants him to be. So he's willing to kind of put you on a pedestal. But then to me, when a guy puts you on a pedestal like that, it's kind of, it's in a way it's saying, okay, I'm beneath you. And a woman doesn't want a man who thinks he's beneath her. Like that, that doesn't know his worth.
So you think that's an unwarranted pedestal?
Yeah, I feel like that's not necessary. It's manipulation. That could become toxic. That's what I think creates a toxic cycle as well.
But anybody that observes female behavior, they know that the women don't want the dude that don't already get pussy, that don't already have women that like him already. Like so when you do see a guy, when you see the guy that, especially the guys that can attract women without having to lie and deceive them, like those guys are not kissing ass. They not putting a woman on a pedestal.
They take their front.
Yeah, you said they take what?
They're upfront.
Yeah. I mean,
like straight.
No doubt.
Because in his world, being authentic is the most valued. Women like him because of the lifestyle he actually lives, because the profession or the career he actually has. He can show off where he really lives. He can pull up in what he really drives. So he doesn't have to do like SD was saying, like those early 20 fuckboy days where you got to fake it to make it to get chicks or whatnot. But I wanted to ask you, have you had any nice guys that you curved that you wish you hadn't, or any situations you regretted?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. When I think about those guys, I also think about so yes and no. Only because I think, Lord, did you send that man to me? Like, was that the man you sent to me? You know, I pray all the time about, you know, God bringing me the person that's meant for me. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people come to you and they're not sent from the right place. So that's that kind of like season, or what is it? Season or for what is the other one? Like for a season or for a lifetime or something like that. You know, guys know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I heard,
A lesson or a blessing type of thing, right? So, I've thought about guys like that I've, that have been really good to me, but just I didn't feel like they were for me.
Why?
And I think just my overall perspective on life and what I look forward to in life, and I feel like we didn't match. Match. And
you weren't compatible.
We weren't compatible, and I realized that without all the nice things he did for me, would I want him? Not really. Without all the kindness that he showed me in the generosity, would I want him if that didn't exist? No. So now I know we're just not compatible.
See,
I don't miss them.
This is the thing, like with women that men don't really understand until they mature into the type of man that's really a leader and a guider and somebody that can give direction like that. A grown woman has to look up to you as a man.
Absolutely.
She has to look up to you and admire you as a man, because she's looking to you to be the leader, to be the
decision
one that
maker,
gives guidance, direction, and stability in her life. So she has to look up to you. So if you are pedestalizing her and doing everything for her, she won't be able to look up to you like that, because you're kind of beneath her and pedestalizing her. So she's not going to respect you like that. So that's why a lot of women say that they want a guy like the girl Jayda said, a guy that worships the ground they walk on. It sounds good. It sounds good
until you actually dealing with it.
With everything, and you can't look up to that type of man because it's soft. It's not leadership.
And a guy that actually. A dude that actually has something going on with his life, like you mentioned earlier, he got ambition, he got a business, he's doing something. He ain't got time to worship the ground you walk on.
Exactly.
He ain't got time to, he got other shit going on.
That's me, sexy. I like it. I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be. But those are the type of things where you have to tell a woman no sometimes. No, I got this. I made this commitment. I signed up to do this. But some women will cut a dude off for something like that.
Yeah.
Where those are really the signs of a man with character. Man, I told my homeboy I was gonna help him move, so Saturday we gonna have to link up Sunday. That's how a guy that's really, you can take it or leave it. That ain't being mean. That's just him being real. You know what I mean? And those are the type of men that I think have the most success. I wanted to go ahead.
I can speak to that real quick. Like it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to chase a woman or pedestalize a woman. I'm going to treat you well within the confines of what we're doing. I'm going to treat you like I know how to treat a woman. But the minute you think that you can play me or step out of bounds with something, I'm going to have to check it. I'm going to have to let you know that this is not how I move. Now, you don't have to stay if you don't want to. It's all good.
Right.
But you're going to...
Doors always open.
Yeah, you're going to respect me as a man first, and then everything else next. But I'm going to treat you well, no doubt. But I'm not going to pedestalize you. And if that's not enough for you, then I'm not the guy for you. So that's just what it is.
Oh, big fact.
Now, definitely, when I saw your video, it touched home, because I had just kind of had a recent conversation like that with some friends of mine, and they were talking about how thirsty guys be in their Cash App offering them gifts and trying to send them money and do all these type of things. With the digital world, with the Venmos and the Cash App and all that, is that what prompted you to reach out and try to spread some wisdom to the nice guys out there to save them pockets?
Well, not with the Venmo and that type of transaction. It was more so I've been hearing from guy friends that going on dates with women and inquiring like, okay, what do you see us being like? Are you interested in me? And that woman being, like, no, I'm just trying to see where things go. I just want to be friends. And it's kind of like, well, then pay for your own food. Oh, baby, oh me.
Damn.
Man, look, you got to be able to feel that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say if you have to ask a
Gotta be
woman
able to
that
feel
on the date, you fail, bro.
Yeah.
Your homeboys need
But
your
now,
homeboys
just,
Not
fail.
really though. Not
is this on a first date? When he's asking her that?
I think it's different scenarios, you know. So
Okay.
I would say for the most part, yes, the first date.
Mhm.
But I want to say at least one of my guy friends, it wasn't the first date. But she had ordered all this food, and then he's like,
Right.
"So where do you see us going?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, reach into your purse and figure out how you're gonna pay the tab."
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to feel that though.
Well,
No,
let me ask y'all this: that's shiesty, but
It
to
is.
That
me,
is.
that's
it's
better than the
bold.
chick that go on a date with a dude and then 3 and 4 of her friends show up. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
What?
yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
had
it
it.
does.
Yeah, that
Yes,
happens
I did.
where
Something new.
a chick that don't really like you will look. I like, girl, I got some free drinks. Meet me here, and it's finesse time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Has
yeah,
that
that
happened
happens.
to any of you?
It happened to me.
Oh,
Stop.
Years back.
Happened to me before.
Years back. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to meet her at the restaurant. So she came over to the restaurant and had 2 friends. I told this story on my page for the worst dating experiences. This was one. She showed up with 2 friends. I didn't even know these chicks was coming. So
Okay.
they ordered a bunch of drinks and different things and was talking about their kids and all that. And they ordered to-go meals that were catfish fillets or catfish steaks. Catfish they ordered to go. Both of the friends. So when the bill came, I was like, hey, just me and the girl I came with. Well, the other 2 girls start calling me Dusty and broke and all types of things. And I'm like, and they were saying that they got the catfish for their kids, which was 2 and 3. I'm like, oh no, 2-year-olds eat catfish. You taking that home to your man and you trying to get me to pay for it. So it was just all bad, man. But chicks,
bro.
and I never talked to old girl again. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really like me like that. This was years ago. I could tell because she didn't stick up for me at all. So, you know.
Wait, because I'm curious. Was that the first date?
Yes, it was.
Okay, but you literally but wait, I thought if you do that, then you messed up pretty much. Like if you do that as a guy, you have known that prior to. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you knew prior to that she didn't really like you, but you still took her out?
No, I did not. I was a lot younger, so I wasn't paying attention to certain things.
That makes sense.
And it was a kind of a quick hitter. We didn't talk all that much for me to vet her really well. I just was gonna meet up with her because I liked her, and you know what I'm saying. They tried to finesse me real quick, but I put my money on the table and walked out and left them for the rest. So
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, you handled it like a G, bro. Man, women are bold, man. I've seen women that go viral. They'll record a guy in situations like that. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but yeah. So I think that's probably why you rubbed a lot of women the wrong way, because you trying to prevent the finessing, and for a lot of women, that's their livelihood. Using their sexual attention, they thirst traps to get men to buy them dinner, or I need some help. My rent's you can tell those kind of conversations where, man, what's wrong? Man, my rent's a little late. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys have all had that.
Yeah. Had them too.
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, guys, you're going to experience it. So you need to be able to recognize it. If you ain't past or able to detect that when you in your 30s or you older, then you fail, bro. You wasn't doing your job in your teens and 20s as far as dating goes.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have for the women out there that are being finessed by these men?
Okay, so I saw a comment that was like, well, men use women too. They use women as well to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay, but all right. So so I feel like there's only a few things that a man really could benefit from a woman, right? Like there's like a checklist of things other than, so women want men to do things unconditionally for them, but there's conditions when it comes to men as far as like pleasing a woman. There are conditions.
Right.
I feel like there's only a
Yeah.
few things that a man can really benefit from a woman, and one of those things is sex. So my thing is,
the main thing.
the ultimate goal is sex. Like, let's be honest, like, it's not for nothing. Like, at the end of the day, it's not for nothing. Whether it's a a hit and run, or if it's like a long-term thing, the ultimate goal is sex. So when a woman says, oh, well, men use women as well, but what are they using you for? Sex, right? So then why are you
Well, no. And men get more than just sex out of women. Like, depending on the dude, women, you can get women to shop for you. They buy you clothes. They give you money. They buy weed. Like, if you the dude that's blowing her back out and taking her to Pound Town and she actually enjoy being around, women do a lot of stuff to be in order to spend more time with you. So I remember I would have chicks that's coming through. Hey, pick up some Waffle House for me and my roommate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can request all kind of shit when a woman really like you.
So what advice do I have for women like that?
Well, that ain't finessing. That's not finessing. That's I'm talking about a dude that don't really like, that's just using a chick or trying to get over on a chick.
Yeah, most men are trying to do that.
So I don't know that I have any advice at this moment. I haven't really met too many women who just getting played like that. Like, I don't know. I think my perspective comes from seeing.
Oh, your click ain't getting that. That's what's up. I said your click ain't falling for the game.
I'm like, I don't know. We not like
they getting played.
That I hang out with, they get fake numbers. Like, we not really,
wow,
doing that. You know what I'm saying? We not like out here just trying to. So I'm like, I don't know. I haven't met many women who are getting used by men. Like during tax time, I've heard.
All right. So before we get,
women feel they get used for sex, not like for their money and stuff like that. Women feel like a lot of them feel like if they don't get the relationship or what they want out of the interaction and they had sex with a man, they feel like they were used for the sex.
That's where I was getting at. Right. Yeah, that's where I was getting at.
Yeah, not necessarily tax money.
Okay.
But it happens, apparently.
It does.
Yep. No doubt.
But I don't think that accounts for most interactions. I think men and women have a just drastically different view on sex. Guys view sex as something free that you can do when it's nothing to do, and they do it mostly for pleasure. They're not trying to leverage it into anything or try to finesse it into dates or a relationship. So I think that fundamental difference in how men and women view it cause a lot of the conflict.
One more quick thing here. Plus, with sex, both of y'all could be equally getting sex. She's getting sex, he's getting sex. But if a man is just spending his money, he ain't
one-sided.
he ain't really getting much in return for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's a good chance,
it's a one-sided transaction. I heard the word transaction, but it is. Whereas sex, both of y'all getting something from it.
Yeah.
So
it's a transaction. Money in exchange for services. That's basically what it is.
You're gonna pay for it some kind of way.
Directly or indirectly. Basically. All right, so Dahlia, before we get up out of here, I wanted to just ask you, so what's been the biggest reaction since your video went viral? How your followers blew up, your DMs been going crazy?
DMs have gone crazy.
Wow.
Most people want me to start a podcast, and I'm like, I don't know, this is interesting.
Well, if you start one, I'll listen.
It's definitely interesting.
You can always have some. It's a great way to network, collaborate, and have some good conversations. So I would recommend it.
It's very natural. So I mean, it's a good way to kind of introduce topics and not be controversial in a bad way, but be controversial.
Before we get up out here, let everybody know how they can follow you and how they can catch your future content.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Dahlia Love, DAHLIA LOVEE, 2 E's. Hashtag is more of Dahlia under my screen name. I'm on TikTok as well. It's Dahlia Love, again with 2 E's. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, I really enjoyed the conversation. Before we get up out of here, I want to give a shout out to both of my co-hosts for getting the episode done with me. I appreciate y'all linking up to get it done. I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue donating to the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. This has been another episode of the Ho the Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.